every single test that Nike have ever done suggests they're a lot faster. They are faster. They're so much faster in terms of what a shoe can actually add to your run.
Got to get the glass nice and hot first.
I can't read that.
For the third time, today's session is fueled with Craft House Coffee's Brazil Sisio Caipirinha blend. I think I've had this one in an espresso yet. Today's session isn't actually based around any training or anything like that. It's actually a bit of an experiment that I'm doing about my running shoes and the different types of feeling that I get in the feet. I think it's very important to say that running is just one of those sports where you can grab a pair of shoes and just go out and run, and it's not a big deal. But I think when you're running quite a lot and it's for performance or fitness and training, the shoes that you are wearing will make a big difference to how you're feeling, how your feet are, and how actually you do in the sessions that you are doing. I found I feel different in shoes depending on what session I do. So today's session is actually a tempo run, and I do three running sessions a week. Midweek is usually kind of a tempo run or some kind of training based around speed work. Saturday's the brick session, so running 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, straight after a long bike. And then Sunday is my long runs. So today, Wednesday, tempo runs.
So we're halfway through the tempo sets at the moment. Tempo today is 4 2K sets at threshold. And threshold for me is around that 7 minute a mile pace, 7:05. Each one is so far done in less than 9 minutes, which is really good. That's where I need to be. That's the third set starting now. Right, catch you in the next rest. A bridge coming up halfway through your tempo is not ideal. Anyway, turn around, keep going. Okay, so tempo set's done. Today I'm wearing the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent, and they're like a marathon running shoe, and every single test that Nike have ever done suggests they're a lot faster. They are faster. They're so much faster in terms of what a shoe can actually add to your run. Except for me, I'm finding that they hurt my feet when I'm doing the longer runs, and that's what's really prompting the change, or the experiment, so to speak, is to try them on different runs and see what the effect is. So today, 4 sets of tempo. We've got the brick session coming up on Saturday, and then long run, and I'll wear different shoes for each of those. Right, next up, brick session. Right, so part 2 of the experiment. So on this brick run, 10 minutes at threshold, so 7:16 per mile. And this time, what I'm trying to do is on these shorter runs, train my feet to get them a little bit stronger, because on the long runs they hurt. So what I'm doing in this run is using Nike Frees. So pretty much almost barefoot shoes. We are off with a brick run. 10 minutes at 7:15, 7.5 pace. And we are done with the 10 minutes. So, purpose of doing the brick session in the Nike Frees is because the brick session is all about getting your legs used to running at threshold or quicker than usual after you're fatigued. So I didn't really want a shoe to support me with that, so I'm using the Nike Frees for that. But on top of that, the foot pain, I want to start getting my tendons a little bit stronger So I'm using the Nike Frees just to give me as close to a barefoot run as possible without actually running barefoot, and then the danger that comes with that, or you know, the likelihood of injuries or blah blah blah, whatever. That's the threshold brick session with the Nike Frees done. Not as quick. You could definitely tell they're not as quick as the next percent. All right, last day of the experiment. So today's workout is the long run, 13 and a half miles coming up, 4 sets of 20 minutes or 22 minutes of running. So yeah, it's just going to be a long run, and today I'm wearing, again, different shoes to try and see how the pain in the feet is affected with different shoes, see whether or not it actually makes a difference or whether it's just my feet and it's nothing to do with the actual shoes themselves. So let's go, long run. So we're 3 sets out of 4 into the long run now. I'm 3 sets. I'm 3 sets into the 4 in the long run. 22-minute sets at 8-minute per mile pace, but I've been holding about an 8.5. Shoes aren't as fast as the next percent. I just knew they wouldn't be, but it's more about a comfort thing on these long runs. So far the feet feel okay, but there's still another 22 minutes to go and a 10-minute jog home. So hopefully hit half a marathon. 2 minutes rest, and then we're running again. Let's go. Look at that. Let's go. Right, so everything done and back home. Cool down was 5 minutes, so 4 sets of 22 minutes and then a 5-minute cool down at the end of it. I got about 4 minutes into the cool down and realized my feet felt a little bit weird, and I thought that I was getting some kind of a blister. Don't think I am. So just having a look at my feet now, and I'm gonna spare you the images, but no blister there for now. But I'll do what I usually do, which is kind of check back in tomorrow and see how the feet are feeling, and then kind of talk about, 1, the purpose of why I'm trying different shoes with different running sessions, and 2, what I've figured out. And by no means is this a science, it kind of just goes by how I feel and the things that I've found while I'm trying these different shoes and different sessions. There's always going to be different sessions, there's always going to be different distances as well, so that's something else to take into account. So yeah, next clip now will be tomorrow, and feedback about everything else. All right, we're back, and as far as I'm concerned, the experiment's actually paid off. It's given me a lot to think about, and actually what I was trying to achieve with it, I think I did. So let's kind of just start off with talking about why I want to do this in the first place. And it was primarily because I was starting to run a lot longer in my programming. I think runs were capped at 6, 7, 8 miles before, and we started reaching the 10, 11, 13 plus miles. So I bought the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent running trainers. They were kind of marathon, half marathon specific, carbon plate in the middle, and I thought that would be really, really good because of all the cushioning and everything. I am a heel striker, massive heel striker. I think you can see that just in the bottom of the shoe there, that there is some kind of effect to the heel. I'm actually running with these quite a lot. What I found though is on last week's long run video is that my feet tend to really, really hurt after running longer distances. Now, I was wondering whether it was just these shoes, whether it was the shoes, or whether it was my feet not being strong enough. I was reading Born to Run at the time, and there's a lot of talk about barefoot running, improving your strength in your feet and all that kind of stuff. So that planted a seed in my head a little bit as well. So what I tried to do, I've been running in these 2 shoes mainly. So the Nike Air Zoom Gravity, these are my everyday running shoes. I tend to wear the Vaporflies when I'm going for a PB attempt or on the longer run. And then I'm wearing the Air Zoom Gravities whenever I'm doing any tempo sessions, any brick run sessions, anything like that really. So the reason I wanted to experiment a little bit was because I wanted to put a little bit more barefoot running into my training, just to improve the strength in my feet. And I realized I've actually got a pair of Nike Frees, which is Nike's answer to barefoot running when it all was taken off. I've got the 5s, I think. Used to be white, not anymore. There's literally a 6mm drop on these, and they are like the whole barefoot thing, which you can fold the shoe up. There is no stack, there's no cushioning on that sole. So that's the purpose of these, is to really push you more on your toes, really give you more control through your feet while you're running. And I wanted to use these as well. So when was I going to use which shoe? I was warned by Kevin, my coach, that barefoot running can, if you're not used to it, put some injuries in place. I started to introduce these very, very lightly, just kind of in brick sessions and anything that's shorter than 30 minutes really. So brick session tempo runs, I've found that throughout that time I'm able to keep the tempo. I think it's after 3 miles that the tempo or my pace will need some kind of assistance. Anything shorter than 30 minutes, typically, I'm going to be running in these just to get, again, a bit more strength through the feet. I found that after a long bike ride, going out for a run in these, absolutely fine, gives me everything I need and not too much to worry about or not too much to think about. Tempos, so speed work, I was using these and I was using these for the brick session as well. But then I was thinking, you know what, there's no carbon plate in the middle of this shoe like there is in the Next Percent. So I was wondering whether that would be a little bit more comfortable for me to run in. So then I kind of did a bit of a flip. Tempo, it's all about speed training, you know, 400, 500 meter repeats. So I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to do that in the faster shoe, get myself running faster and like, you know, feeling the speed of that kind of thing. Less than an hour and a half sessions, so feet shouldn't feel too much pain. The feedback is yes, 100%. I could definitely feel myself running faster in these. I think I did a session in these where it was 2K repeats and I was averaging around 9 to 9.5 minutes per 2 kilometers. In these, less than 8.5 minutes every single time. Now, the heat, completely different factor. So when you mix in the heat and you mix in fatigue as well, I'm not very good in these shoes. I just need to acclimatize better. Tempos, running fast, definitely going to be using these from now on. PB attempts, anything shorter than an hour and a half, I think I'm going to be going for the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. Now the Air Zoom Gravities, tried them on the long run, and this was the big test for me. One, could I keep comfortable? Would it be comfortable for me to run that length of time in a shoe that isn't as, I mean, if you look at the cushioning of the shoes there, you can tell that there's a lot more cushioning in this one. Would I be comfortable in a shoe that isn't as cushioned? Again, heavy guy, need a bit more kind of padding on the feet. And would I be able to, again, sustain an hour and a half to 2 hours in those shoes? And last but not least, would I be able to keep the tempo going or my pace and my speed? What I found is that in these, you have to work harder to get the pace. So my pace on the long run was 8 to 8.5 minutes. I was averaging around 8.5 for the first 2-3 sets out of 4. As the weather started getting a little bit warmer and as I started getting a little bit more tired and fatigued, that pace started to go above 8.5. So I don't think that was a shoe thing necessarily. However, what I found was, and this was kind of the real thing that I was going after with this experiment, is, were my feet going to hurt? The answer is no. So I definitely think there's something to do with the drop in these shoes. Again, going from that really, really thick cushioning here to, you know, not much going on just at the bottom of here, the carbon plate as well, versus, you know, not a ridiculous drop in these, not a massive amount of cushioning. Again, a very longer distance. Had no foot pain. Usually go on a recovery ride on the Monday. I actually went for a jog, so that kind of tells me everything that I need to know. So for me, as of June 2020, what am I going to be using for my training? Long run, anything above an hour and a half, I think I'm gonna stick with the Air Zoom Gravities. Anything less than an hour and a half, tempo sessions, when you're going for a PB, 5K, 10K, definitely gonna stick to the Vaporfly Next Percent. They're a faster shoe. I wasn't even going to question that. I knew they were a faster shoe. So definitely on tempo days, PB attempts, anything like that, races as well. I'll wear these or any newer versions or anything like that that come over the next few months or years. And then anything less than half an hour, I'll be wearing the Nike Freeze, as close to barefoot as you can. As for that, that's where I am at the moment, and that's kind of what I found out. So yeah, I'm really glad I did that. Hopefully you took something out of it. Again, this isn't a science per se, it's really down to feel, it's really down to a personal thing about how I find wearing each of these shoes while I'm running. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have done, please drop a like just below. Subscribe if you already haven't, and share the video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Perfect. Right, catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.